On today's lesson, we're going to break down some old footage of me. You're going to see things that I do well that you should be copying. You're going to see some things that I do horribly wrong with positioning that you should absolutely learn from. And then we have a couple shot of the day candidates at the end of the lesson. So let's get started. All right, before we get going, let me just tell you who everyone is on the court. Obviously, you can see that I'm the server. My net player is Kyle Spencer, one of my best friends. He's the head coach at NC State. He was an Olympian in doubles for Great Britain. Awesome, awesome player. In the deuce court on the far side, we have a great local D2 player. And in the ad court, one of Kyle's former players who played #1 doubles for him at NC State. So let's watch this point to get going. And I want you to pay attention to my footwork in positioning. I come in right here, little tough backhand volley. I get a forehand volley behind me. Nice little exchange by them being solid. We get a lob. I survive. And we get a little bit of a lucky miss. Now, when I come to the net here, why haven't I closed tighter than this? The answer is because Kyle is close to the net. He's pinching off the middle. He's looking to be aggressive. We both can't be that tight. Otherwise, we're going to get lobbed for sure. So I can see him, feel him out of the corner of my eye, and I am balancing him out. I hit an okay volley here. There's really no reason to think crazy offense. This volley right here is horrible technique. It's behind my body, whatever. But once I hit that weak volley, watch where I go. I back up now because I know this guy's about to rip a forehand. I've got the middle of the court here since he's hitting from the deuce side, and I know he's about to tag it. And so I can survive this backhand volley, which wasn't that easy. He goes once to Kyle, and now look, again, he's on his back foot. He's a little bit blocked off from me, so I'm not worried about the angle. I'm thinking a lob's coming, plus I have to balance Kyle out. So you can see that I'm standing on the service line, but with good reason. Once this lob gets hit, you can see I'm actually the one who's going to be able to get that ball much easier than Kyle, even the ball was hit to his side. And then once I get here, this is a very, very tough volley. I don't need to be trying anything. Just put it in the court, see what can happen, and we get a little bit lucky that he misses an easy forehand. All right, let's take a look at this point here. I hit a good return. The server goes down the line right away. The volleyer tries to thread the needle. I have a nice little cover and a good lob. Now, I'm taking this return from behind the baseline. You'll see later when I show you all my disgusting missed returns. I was taking the ball a little too early. So I gave myself some more time. The server goes down the line, which was a nice little off his back foot mix-up. Kyle was there. Now, where should the winner be hit? This guy should thread the needle towards Kyle's side, right? That's where all the space is. If you're looking at me, I can sense that on the court. I am flowing to the left already before he hits. Once I see the ball is hit there, I can take off quickly. Now from here, I've got a picture in my mind. I know that Kyle has to be switching in front of me, which basically takes away my low cross-court option. I also know the server is probably coming in, and the guy in the ad court is going to be pinching middle tight. So where's my space? I can hit cross-court, and I can hit a lob. So I already am committed to this shot. You can see I've got smooth hands, and I'm picking that simple target. But all that starts with a little preparation, knowing where this volley is going to go, and then knowing where everybody should be on the court so I can exploit the space. All right, you guys know I love to talk about this one. People volley cross court, and we need to be ready for it. So I had a nice cover, and that's really a fantastic volley by them. Once I see that this net player is taking it back for a forehand, I know that the ball is likely to go cross court. Kyle should be covering the middle, and I'm going to cover the angle. So you can see I've already got a little bit of a lean going to my right. I'm ready to push off. Now my brain probably processes what's happening, but I'm able to get a very quick jump on the ball. Now from here, I'm in a very, very awkward spot. I mean, this is so tough. I'm trying to hit down the middle to the backhand volley. That way, the guy will hit cross court back to Kyle. I can't quite thread that needle enough. The guy on my side does a good job picking that off, and then he correctly exploits the space by volleying right through the middle back to me. But again, once you see this forehand volley, you can go ahead and take off for that angle, and I feel like your opponents will hit far less winners on that ball. All right, this one's pretty simple. I hit a decent second serve return, and we got a missed volley. And at the end, this is just a play that Kyle and I would run all the time. I'm going to try to dip it low at their feet, especially if they're serving and volleying. Kyle's just going to close, hopefully close in a straight line, but he's going to move on that more than half the time. We want this guy totally stressed out about what Kyle is doing and making this volley difficult. So are any of the shots that we hit that spectacular? No, this return is solid, not great. And we won the point just because Kyle is moving and putting himself in the right spot. All right, Kelly Jones said it best. You're either poaching or faking. So right there you can see Kyle hits the same return. This is later in the same game. He dips his return. I give an early fake, and now I'm covering line, and we force a volley wide. Now that fake only works because Kyle and I have both been moving throughout the match. So we poach early, then we fake later. But right here, this is a solid return, nothing special. I give an early fake, and I'm ready to time this, but we have forced an error. I mean, can he hit that volley in the court? Absolutely, but he's trying to thread the needle because we've established ourselves as a presence at the net. All right, here's a sick volley by Kyle at the net. Again, I take that return from a little deeper, and he hits that little inside-out backhand gem. Now, why does this work? Obviously, Kyle is an Olympian. He's got incredible hands. This is a super high difficulty shot. But why it works is because he knows what his opponent should be doing. So he gets this ball right here. Where is the space for the winner? It's to thread the needle through the middle. So he knows that net player is going to be shifting middle when he's about to hit. And you can see him on the far side, right there, shift middle, which makes that angle volley open. Now again, would I suggest that a 4-0 try this? Never in a million years. This is a super high level shot, but it's not on accident. When I see this ball, I'm thinking what a high IQ Kyle has, where he knows where his opponent's going to be moving to. He knows he can kind of cut that backhand volley inside out and exploit that off balance positioning. I'm actually making a video on lob returns, but here you can see a nice slice lob from me. We both come in, and then a nice hands from Kyle right there. So I get stretched. I hit a nice lob return. Again, it's not the highest thing in the world. You can see where this lands. About 3-4 feet inside the singles line. Missing a lob wide is one of the biggest sins you can ever have. Now we're 2 up. Where's the space in the court? We got a guy fading away. We've got the net player running to the deuce court. Obviously, short would be a great volley. Now, I think the far guy should absolutely lob this because they're in trouble. He decides to go low, and that makes a very, very easy decision for Kyle to go low, short to the space. All right, I don't have many good returns in this match. This was one of them, hitting a nice down the line. Now, my opponent has been pinching and poaching all day. I've got to keep him honest sometimes. I take the second serve return inside the court, which is great. But again, when I'm going line, I'm not thinking winner. I hit a few balls in the alley in this match for sure. They're accidents. I'm not trying to aim there. So I actually aim pretty much right where he was. He's pinching / poaching. He's off balance. And because I take it early, I can get it on him pretty quickly. But again, this is a nice way to keep him honest without me risking any unnecessary unforced errors. All right, you can see the camera zoomed in here later in the match. It got a little darker, so sorry for the grainy footage. A little nice return by me and a +1 error. Now, a lot of times people return second serves as if it's going to be some amazing serve. I want you to look where I am standing right now. You can see me in the corner of the screen. When I split step, I mean, look where I'm standing. This is a good player. This is a solid second serve, but I kind of know the timing. I know where he's going. By the way, you can tell I want to hit a backhand because my backhand's much more solid than my forehand. So I stand on my right. Look, I'm hitting this from the alley, and nobody cares. It's okay to play your favorite shot, even if it looks a little weird. Look how close I am. The guy at the net is not going to be able to poach on this very often, and because I'm taking time away, I can rush that server and get the +1 error. So if I can stand here on a guy who used to be in D2 hitting a quality second serve, you can certainly stand a little closer on your own second serve returns. A big theme that's developing is exploiting space and understanding where space is. So right here you can see a solid volley and an awkward backhand. Now again, when we serve wide, great lefty wide serve from Kyle. Where is the space on the court? It's through the middle to the returner's side. We know that before the point starts. We're going to move the returner wide and hopefully finish to the middle. I get an awkward volley across my body right here, and I do an okay job hitting something solid to this space. Now, look, if there's no lob hit here, I'm going to have an easy forehand volley cross-court drop shot winner, which, by the way, is one of my favorite shots. So even though I know I'm not hitting a winner on that ball, we've set ourselves up to finish on the next. That's part of the reason why he misses is because he knows he's in a very, very tough spot. So I think he should have lobbed because they're both so far out of position. They're both on the same side of the court. But it all is set up by knowing the serve is pushing the returner wide. We're going to volley to the space and then put them under pressure. And I saved this point for last because I do a terrible job at this pretty much throughout this whole match. You can see I hit a nice little volley. Kyle ends up missing a ground stroke because we're both out of practice and we both volley better than we hit ground strokes. But I have a nice aggressive starting position on his second serve. And I do a pretty good job of moving in a straight line. Now right here, You can see I clearly should be able to hit a forehand volley winner, threading the needle through the middle. I don't hit it perfectly. Our opponent at the net has great hands and survives. But the basic thing is I am starting closer to the center line than I am the sideline, and I'm trying to move in a straight line to get this ball. If you enjoy my doubles content and want to come to one of my camps, I'll be running one before the US Open, August 23rd and 24th. We'll have 8 hours of tennis, 5 coaches for 16 players. Everyone will get a ticket to the US Open, as well as a gift bag featuring an ADV backpack, New Balance shoes, Vuori clothing, and gifts from Yonex. I'll be putting a link to the website in the description for this video, so click on that if you're interested in attending the camp. All right, now let's watch some of these points that are absolutely embarrassing from my perspective. I'm supposed to be a professional coach here. Look at me at the net right here. We got a solid body serve. Kyle hits an amazing half volley cross court. I don't know for the life of me why I am moving laterally towards my line. Look where that ball is passing. That is exactly where I make videos on YouTube all the time. Granted, this was 6 years ago, and I have done a little bit more learning since then, and I realized that some of my doubles skill was basically physical. So I have gotten smarter over the last 6 years. I wish I could have learned this when I was playing. But this is a mistake that I would roast my remote students for doing. I am moving to the line and giving up the middle and leaving my partner out to dry. Thank God his hands are amazing, but again, I should be moving in a straight line like the one positive one I showed you before. I think I'm actually punishing myself by making me watch all these over and over again. Again, second serve, awesome return. I have great starting position. I'm very aggressive. I'm giving the returner something to look at. So I'll give myself a compliment for that. But watch my movement. Instead of moving in a straight line, I'm shifting away. Look where that ball is crossing the net. Now, am I going to have a play on that that's good? Probably not. That return is absolutely ripped. But I'm going to have a better chance of making it than Kyle off this weird half volley when the guy has roasted it. So again, start aggressively, but move in a straight line if you are going to be staying. And I could show you even more of these, but this is the last one. Again, this is like self-punishment. This is by far the worst. We end up winning the point. Great. Never confuse a good outcome with a good process. So if you're watching me again, we've got that slider out wide. Look, I'm shifting to the line for no reason. I mean, that should be an absolute sitter spike for me. I do not know what I was thinking. Thank God this was 6 years ago. It should be embarrassing, but wow, that is really, really poor by me. So just to stress it, straight line movement. This center window is where we want to be, and I should be knocking that volley off every time. Some more shocking net movement out of me. That's a nice little return and a whiff. Now again, I said you got to close. You got to move forward. I don't see a whole lot of forward momentum out of me right here. Granted, I'm not moving that far to the alley this time, so good for me on that one, but I'm not closing at all. I mean, for this ball to bounce in front of me, that is shocking movement. I'm not focused. I'm worried about something else. I got to move in a straight line, get close to the net, and have a chance. Now look, that's a great return. I'm going to be in trouble, but for them to win the point on that is because of my mental mistakes. All right, here's a great example of over poaching. I mean, look at that. We got exactly what we wanted. So I have talked before on my poaching videos about where we want to land when they're hitting. So I'm going to make a little line on the court right here. You can see my aggressive positioning. I don't have to go that far, but I actually get across the line right here. And I should be a little bit closer to my side of the court. I would be covering everything from there. And so because I've over poached, now I've got this awkward forehand volley / backhand. The guy hits it fast. But it all starts from me not knowing where my spot is and being disciplined. So I make what should be an easy finish a loss of point. Very similar idea here. I over poach again and hit just a disgusting volley. I literally almost knocked the camera down. And again, this is why you should give yourself forgiveness. I mean, I played in the US Open twice and I'm capable of hitting those volleys, but you guys won't forgive yourself when you hit one bad one. So again, why do I miss this? A little bit of an over poach. You can see where I am in the court. It's a little too far in my opinion. And because of that, again, I'm getting jammed right there. Okay, you can also see a little ball coming in. I should have called a let for hitting such a horrible, horrible volley. But again, that's all set up from over poaching. And then I get jammed right there. So if I can hit a volley like that, you should forgive yourself when you hit the same volley. All right, Stokey 6 airs. You know, it's a huge part of what I talk about. Second serve return in the net. That was the first return of the match. So not only am I missing the net, which is moronic, I should be aiming higher. I got to make a return to start the match. Number two, I haven't seen this guy serve once yet. I don't know where it's gonna bounce. I don't know the spin. So why am I taking this one so far inside the baseline? I would start a match behind the baseline, get a feel for their serve, and then I can move up like I showed you earlier in this video. So for me, this is taking the ball way too early to start a match, and then obviously my return target too low. That's a horrible way to start returning a match. And last point, because this is just a horrible looking shot, you can see right here, right in Kyle's dome. Now, the guy at the net does a great job threading that needle a little bit, and when I'm here, I'm in a really, really tough spot. I mean, I don't have many options. Really what I should do is lob the guy who's at the net. Clearly right now I can't go cross court. Now in my defense, if you look at Kyle's head right here, when I'm committed to the shot, I'm thinking I'm gonna hit a little slice behind him on the left, which is gonna be like a TV shot that one person in the crowd will clap for. Right here, you can see he's moving, and he kind of finds his way into my spot. But again, that is my fault. I just hit a dude in the head from the baseline. That is what you see on the rec courts all the time. And I like to think I'm a pretty good player. So that's a stupid, risky decision. What I should have done is lob the net player, but I ended up hitting an Olympian in the back of the head. All right, let's take a look at 3 shot of the day candidates. This is me serving and volleying. Kyle holds on this first one, and I hit a feathery little inside out. Now, right here, all I'm gonna do is set my racket. Look how little motion I have on this. I'm just using the angle, soft hands, and then never fist pump after a great shot. Make them think you can do that all day long. That is candidate number 1. Candidate number 2, shot of the day. This little backhand volley from me right here. I actually remember this very clearly because respect for my peers is what I'm craving. Kyle was a mentor of mine. After this, he said, no one in the crowd even knew how good this volley was. There's one guy clapping. I'll actually show it to you right there. That's the only guy who acknowledged it. So why is this a good volley and what am I thinking? Again, we're exploiting space. So they go line on us. Where should the opposing net player be moving? He should be pinching middle. I'm on the left side of the court. He's cutting off the angle. Just like Kyle's drop volley, I know I've got him off balance. Now, this is a very, very tough volley to hit because I've got to thread that needle between Kyle and my opponent. But I know if I go line, I'm still in a pretty tough spot. This is kind of an all or nothing winner. But again, it's because I know what that opposing net player is going to be doing, and I use that to my advantage. Now, I've been sitting here showing you my 2 great points. Here's Kyle's great shot around the net post. I mean, this is one between the legs I have no time for. If you can ever go around the net post low, that's the one time Stokey Tennis takes a back seat and you got to try that shot. So we've got the let cord. Kyle's patient. He lets it drop. I know it's grainy footage and he hits it right at that dude's foot around the post. I absolutely love it. Clearly, you have to give Kyle the shot of the day. So why do I make this video? I was a great player. I played in the US Open. I was an All-American. I'm now a professional coach. And guess what? I still make these mistakes. So I'd like you guys to forgive yourselves more when you make a positioning error or hit a poor volley. I probably had 50 points in that match that I could show you how poorly I played or bad decisions I made. So I want you to forgive yourselves. The second thing I want you to think about with this video is growth. I look at myself from 6 years ago when I was 35, and I know I am a far better coach with a more clear idea of what I like and what I think the game should be played like because I've learned and studied over the last 6 years. So I look back at the player that I was and some of the things that I was doing, and I'm embarrassed. But for me, that's a good thing because that means I've improved. And so I want you to feel the same way. When you're looking at your game from 2 years ago or 2 years from now, when you look back at yourself now, I want it to look bad because that means we've improved. And like I said, if you enjoy my doubles content, I've got my doubles camp in New York City at the end of this summer, right before the US Open. It's going to be an awesome time. Check out the link in my caption for this video, and I hope to see you guys out there.